Hi guys! Today we're Studio John Fish and we have something to show you. James, when I first reached out to you with this crazy idea saying, we want to do something at the Florey, we just knew that we wanted to do something quite impactful, and it all started with a site visit. And during the site visit, we saw the brain.
When we had the discussion, obviously we're trying to tie the concept back to what the Florey do, which is all neuroscience and that sort of research. Obviously it had to be something brain related, and there were two things that stood out as quite inspiring. The first was the NeuroPix scans? Yeah, those beautiful
imagery.
Beautiful imagery of the brain of like synapses and neurons, and it looked like outer space galaxy imagery, and that was that was really inspiring. And then when we were walking around, we saw this thing discarded in the corner. I was like, hey, what's that? And they're like, no, that's been there for like 20 years. It doesn't work anymore. And like, well, let's bring it back to life.
Obviously, we didn't want to do something that was just purely science. The goal was to bridge the gap between the science and the art. So instead of just having literally parts of the brains mapped, we wanted it to be a bit more aspirational, and at the same time the brain is still a mystery. So we wanted to bring that into the concept, and I think you've done that beautifully. The whole idea behind Florey After Dark is to give all the guests that are going to come to this event a very immersive experience. Now, the foyer of the Florey, which is where this piece is going to be on display, it's a very big space. It's been built not too long ago, so the architecture is beautiful, very interesting, but it is not an event space, essentially. So the question was, what can we build in that space to make it immersive, impactful, so it translates and it doesn't get lost with all the other elements that are in the space currently.
With this particular artwork and this object, it's not particularly huge, and we are executing this in a fairly large space. So the immediate thought was, how do we expand the visual presence of it? And that's when the idea for the lighting came into play, where it goes from being 1.5 meters to all of a sudden a 5 meter footprint that's kind of glowing and got movement. So it started with that, and then it was how do we expand it, and how do we create more visual impact.
This event is only for 3 hours. It's actually a very short window. And so we can't afford for something not to work on site. Because this is the central piece of the event itself, we really wanted to make sure that everything was top-notch. It's only the 60 people that are coming to this event who will get to see that piece. We're giving people a unique experience. It's not going to be displayed anywhere else. It's not going to be accessible to the public. So at the end of the day, that's the experience.